The following is for entertainment purposes only. We are not financial advisors. We are not responsible for any losses, only the profits. What's happening, Octo fan? We're taking a look at a pretty cool shipping play. I like this one, and I don't. We'll dive into it and see why. One of our patrons was asking me about it. Best Inc. is what it is. It is an Asian-based shipping. I think it's based out of China, and it is massive. Absolutely massive. He said, hi, I was hoping to get your input on a stock based out of China that I'm very interested in. Ticker is BEST. Best. Pros, young company that's growing and expanding in Southeast Asia. That's good. It's going out of China, so it's expanding, it's growing. Love this. It's backed by Alibaba, which has 27% stake in the company and has a good amount of institutional investors. They've increased revenue year over year. Their total assets are about 2.5 billion and have around 300 million in cash. But yet, with the recent stock price drop, their market cap is around 800 million, which tells me it's undervalued. Long-term outlook seems positive. Might get a boost in PR from the holiday shipments. It's true. I mean, dude, it's the time for shippers to make money right now. Cons, the bad stuff. They have a lot of debt, which would be attributed to them growing. I'd rather a company have a lot of debt and sitting there, than growing than just sitting there and doing nothing, right, and have no debt. They are not profitable at the moment, though. It has a huge float. I wouldn't call this huge, but it's big. It's 385.4 million shares outstanding. It's not like SPACs where it's like 80 or 150 or something like that, 100 million. Or that Bitcoin one we were talking about yesterday was only, 10 or 100 million, I can't remember. But regardless, I always wish it was lower, but it is what it is. It's big shipping, big money. It could definitely always be worse. Remember, NEO's like 1.6 billion or something like this. It's only 385 million, so it's not too terribly crazy. I'm like, okay, yeah, this one makes sense. He also said negative short-term outlook. Big competition is FedEx and UPS. To me, that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. If you're competing with FedEx and UPS, it's pretty cool. I wish I had a company that was competing with them, right? Moving on. He said, can you tell me your thoughts on this? I'm also curious to how the chart is looking like. Is there something I'm missing here? I'm a bit invested in this, so I'm trying to make sure. Thanks and Merry Christmas. The third quarter highlights that just posted, they had express parcel volume of an increase of 24.8% year over year to 2.36 billion, which is crazy. Freight volume increased to 30.7% year over year to 2.46 million tons. This isn't like a just starting up shipping company. This is like, dude, they're whooping. Supply chain management orders fulfilled increased 18.3% year over year to 102 million. Sea parcel volume increased by almost 7 times to 20.8 million. I don't know if that's saying like over the sea or that's that conglomerate that sells stuff. Sea, I don't know. Revenue was, I don't even know, a decrease of 0.6 year over year though. Primarily due to the decrease in ASP of Best Express and Best Freight. Gross profit decreased 92.6% year over year, primarily due to decrease ASP and increased costs from Best Express. I tell you, I have no idea what that means. Companies can book and push profits or losses in so many different ways. Who knows what's actually going on there? I'm sure they're growing, so they got to do a bunch of weird big stuff, buying big stuff, maybe buying new warehouses. I'm not sure what they're calling ASP. What is that? I don't know what ASP is. Maintain strong balance sheet with liquidity, though. They still have the cash and cash equivalents, restricted cash, and short-term investment totaled something billion at the end of the third quarter. The company announced a strategic refocusing plan following a comprehensive review of the company's operations. Plans to implement major adjustments to its strategy to refocus on its logistics and supply chain management businesses with a view to driving long-term growth and profitability. Okay. Announced the winding down of Best Store. except for the self-operated Webull stores. Sweet, Webull. Want to go to Webull? November 15th, 2020. For its other businesses, including Best U Cargo, Capital, and Global, the company is considering all options available with the goal of maximizing shareholder value. So they had some sort of stores, maybe like I know in America they have something called the UPS stores, where like you can go in and ship packages. It sounds to me because they're winding them down, I'm trying to just kill them off. Probably because of what's been going on since March. I'm guessing people haven't been showing up in person, but they're still handling so many orders from online shopping. That's where they're making their money, but they're realizing the retail stores are just not making money. What's the point? Announced cost measures to implement a company-wide cost-cutting plan through optimism and SG&A and R&D expenses to focus its resources on core business, anticipating an estimated savings of approximately 200 million RMB by the end of next year. The company also took significant steps to realign its management team to support the refocusing plan for its core business. So again, there just looks like they're getting rid of the fluff and they're just going back to what they're good at, which is probably just middleman shipping, right? Revenue, it seems like it's increasing. You know, stuff is going up. They still got random losses though, right? Like in the express mail, 2.6% year over year down, but in freight, 8.2% up. U Cargo, I'm not sure what that is. I'm guessing it's some sort of like shipping container thing for moving, down 1.9%, but then Capital was up 12.4%. Now here's where it gets the things that are bleeding it out. The store, right? They're talking about getting rid of the stores. The store took a 16.8% year over year down. Global though, it's growing 125.9%. So I kind of like this. They're getting rid of the bad, bring up the good. Global market, what's happening? You know, China, and then it's expanding. They're trying to expand to other places. Their big one is the Southeast Asia. We've been talking about that for months. How it's tapped, but it's not brought up big yet, right? There's so much money to be made in Southeast Asia right now. Southeast, in between Australia, right, China, there. And so, what are they saying? Their revenues and stuff have been massive coming up. They grew at 28.9% in that market in just this last year. I mean, last quarter. Quarter before that, it looks like 82%. 82% up, massive up. Again, these guys are huge. You can see tons and tons of trucks. This is a legit company. Should you invest in it, though? My question is, if you're going to invest in this, why don't you just invest in FedEx and UPS instead? Everyone knows FedEx and UPS worldwide. Does anyone know? Does any one of my subscribers ever even heard of Best before? Maybe a couple of you. I don't know. Has anyone not heard of FedEx and UPS? Maybe we're just missing out. We got to look at the charts, of course, but why is there a sudden spike in the share price? And this is where it gets funky. Since 2020 started, this thing has just been going down. There's been like Zippo recovery. Oddly, in March, it didn't get hit too hard. It went from like $5 to $4.92, which I thought was weird. Right after March, though, it went to $5.63, but since then it's just been down. Until recently, you can see we've got these monster short sellers that are finally out. The bears are out of honey, right? Going back to hibernation, what happens is still got some bleed out, because when this happens, this is usually because people still aren't putting money in, but the people shorting are out, stuff like that. But then look what happened here. So this last week, what happened? We got this massive green volume of people coming in. Of course, when you're super zoomed into like the 5-day, it'll look more aggressive. It looks like something like this, right? Now that we're zoomed in. But what's happened is it went from $2 to $3 to almost $3. And now it's consolidating a little bit, which is what we like. Coming off the highs, coming down, consolidating. Again, why is it only at $2.57? Even though it's not diluted, it's still way off, dude. It's just people are scared to touch it because it's a China stock too. It's a real thing. The thing that gets me, though, is it's just been bleeding since the beginning of the year. Not only the beginning of the year. Let's go 5 years out. You want to see what it looks at 5 years? Looks exactly the same. Well, the stock only started, I guess, in September of 2017, but you can look, it really hasn't ever done much. I mean, it launched at like 11, back up to 12, but then it's just been dying ever since then. I don't know. I'm with the dude that wrote that. What are we missing here? Is it just because it's China? Maybe they were always expanding like they were talking about, and now they're finally decided, forget it, we're not going to do those plans anymore. That's why people never invested in them. They're making a ton of money. They're raking it in. This might be a decent time to get in. Would I be backing up the truck on this? No way. Why? Because people don't love it. I see no love in this whatsoever. I see no huge spikes or nothing even gradual for the year. Regardless, if you want exposure to this, I could see this thing climbing. Why wouldn't it? They're raking in the money. They're now focusing where they make their money, and they're expanding. I don't know. Let's take a look at something like FedEx, though. FedEx year to date, the chart makes sense. February, 157. March, dumped like everything else. Consolidated a little bit and has been just stepping up because FedEx is whooping it right now. FedEx is doing amazing. Why? Because it's FedEx. Did you know that anytime you get something overnight delivered, no matter who you choose, United States Postal Service, whoever, most of the time, it's these folks who are shipping it overnight, the ones that own the planes. These guys have a monopoly, and they're also raising their prices. We were first talking about this back here at 229. It's been all the way up to 288, 304. Did anyone get into it with me here? You want to surf this already? We could look at this and say the problem with FedEx, though, it's already run too high, right? I don't know, though. I like stuff that's already run real high and people like it, and then it comes back down to about half off, and then I like buying stuff. Stuff that hasn't been proven yet, though, just is funky to me. If you wanted exposure in this, you could put like, I'd say to be safe, maybe like 40% in here, maybe like 30%, 20% into UPS, and then the rest over into Best. If you wanted to get shipping exposure in your portfolio, which I think is healthy. I mean, it's a good way to invest in all online shopping because it's the middleman for them. No matter what, online shopping needs to put stuff out. Them or Arrival, or all the EV van companies that are coming out along with Arrival. GIK rings a bell. LIII. Those all ring a bell. Why? Because they're shipping. They're cargo electronic vehicle companies that are going to be making money on these guys anyway. To me, I'd kind of rather invest in the electronic vehicle side than this, because they just don't hype that well. What has FedEx even seen, though? This is just FedEx time to shine. This should be the best time ever. They've gone up 155% since March below, which is good, but what EV hasn't gone up way more than that since March? Way more than that. How much was Workhorse then? Like $3, and now it's at like $25. Just look at cost and opportunity. Go that route. If you haven't subscribed, please do it. It definitely helps out the channel. We also have a Patreon where I slide y'all deals early, get you excellent entries, and people are making a ton of money. If you wouldn't mind spreading this video around, it definitely helps out the channel. We'll see y'all out there. Did you know that we give away free silver? Simply leave a comment on the video, and as long as you're in the continental United States, you can be automatically entered to win. Please friend us on Twitter and StockTwits.